Hi, I'm Teddy Burris, and today's conversation is all about before, during, and after your event. And it's going to be focused on some very important aspects of using events to create business value. So it's not about event planning. This is all about your purpose, your goal, your invitees, messages, attendees, which are different than invitees, by the way, and follow up regarding your event. So, why do we do events? Often we do events because we want to meet new people. Often we do events because we want to introduce people to who we are and what we do. We do events to share ideas, share information, product launches, grand openings. There's lots of reasons that we do events. One of the things that we have to make sure that we pay attention to and consider is that when we do events, we need to be doing them to help others. So we need to work through what is our purpose and our goal of doing events. So you need to stop and you need to define the purpose and set your goals before you move forward with your event. Why are you doing this? What's the purpose? What's the goal? How does it help? And what's really important is to consider this. Events need to be mutually beneficial. It can't be all about your business. They have to be about your business and what I refer to as your most important viewer or your target audience. So you really need to think through, how do I do an event that is mutually beneficial to myself, our company, and the invitees and then the attendees? So what's been your purpose and goals before? Again, I will probably wager it's predominantly been about showcasing your products, your services, your solutions, your grand openings, all about your business. I want you to think about this. Make your purpose and goal mutually beneficial, and you will discover you'll get far more value out of your events. So let's talk about the invitees. These are the people that you want to come to your event. So who should you invite to your event? It's not everyone. It's probably maybe not even every customer or every prospect. You need to be very purposeful about who you invite to your events. And you want to invite the people who are the most relevant, who will get the most value from, who will discover the opportunity that you have to share. You need to really think through your list and take your list and pare it down to the best possible invitees. Now, you'll have some diversity in there, but you really want to think through paring down your list to be very focused to the individuals who will get the most mutually beneficial value out of attending your event. And then here's the other question. How should we invite them? Now, often we get people who send out emails over and over and over again, and I'm not disparaging the use of email invites, but it's not the only way to invite people. There's lots of different ways to invite people. We'll talk about that a little bit as well. I mean, there's telephone call, walk up to them face to face, send them a postcard, use Eventbrite, use Facebook events, use Meetup events, etc., 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 etc. So you really need to think through all the different ways to reach your invitees. And the more focused you are on the right invitees, again, the more successful your event will be for you and for them. So what will be the value to the attendees? The invitees are those you're inviting, and once they say they want to come and or show up, they're attendees. So what's going to be the value to them? And so when you can create a value that impacts your attendees in both a personal and a professional way, you're going to get more value from your event. Dale Carnegie taught me that when you help someone, that is a powerful way to develop and grow and nurture the relationship. But Dale Carnegie's teaching says when you can help someone in a personal way, that can take the relationship to a whole nother level. And even in business, you can affect someone in a personal way when you can reduce their stress, their chaos, their heart palpitations or whatever. So think about what's going to be the value to your attendees in both a professional and a personal way. So will the information that you provide during the event provide long-term or short-term value, or both? So think about what's the value you're bringing to your attendees. Is it long-term value or is it short-term value? And when you can take and figure out a way to create an event that offers both short-term, immediate takeaways, immediate value, immediately go home and be able to execute on something, that's very, very powerful. But you can also give them the add-on of how to take and create long-term value based on what they discover or learn about at your event, then that's even more powerful. And you want to think this, you want to think about affecting people in positive ways. You want to think about learning objectives. What are they going to learn? What is going to be the most important thing for them to pay attention to at your event? What are the key takeaways? Again, long-term or short-term takeaways. What are the best practices they're going to hear about? The ideas. What's the philosophies? What's the examples they're going to learn about? And what's the value add for them personally and for their business? When you think about learning objectives, key takeaways, best practices, value adds for your attendees at your event, again, you're creating more value for them. And when you're creating these learning objectives, etc., in context to who you are, what you do, and what your business is all about, that's even more important because they learned it from you. So let's talk about our list. Our list is important to really work through. You want to manage your list. I'm not here to tell you all the different ways you should manage your list. Just give you some ideas. If you have a CRM tool or a mail list tool, if you don't use those, if you don't have those, just use a spreadsheet. You want to keep track of everyone that's invited and as effectively and efficiently as you can. And if you have MailChimp, Constant Contact, Aweber, then use those tools. That way you can create really easy, simple campaigns to engage with them, as an invite, and for other messaging that we'll talk about in a minute. And you want to keep track of their name, their company, their email address, their phone, their title, the date and vibe. Not just I invited Bob. You want to keep track of all the information, and that's so that everyone involved can be aware of who the people or who the invitees are. And when they become attendees, who are they? And what I didn't put there is a field. We should put a field there called VIP field. Is this invitee a VIP? Or what level of VIP? So that you can keep track of how important is this invitee. Because remember, not everybody is in the same level of importance in your business. That's just fact. So you want to keep track of maybe add a VIP field there too. And you want to build your list from a couple different places. You can build it from your team's contact list. Go to your team and say, give me 20 or 30 people from your list that you want to have us invite. You can build this list from your customer list. So look at all your customers and think about which customers are going to be important. They're going to get value from this event so we can invite them. Maybe not all customers. Look in your CRM tools and look at your prospect list. What new prospects do we want to invite to this event? Go to your accounts list and look and see what accounts do you have in your business, and look and see who are new people in those accounts that you want to list. So you want to develop new relationships with new people who work for your customer accounts. And there's other places as well. Maybe you want to ask your community peers or your business partners or your vendors for some examples of people who could fit that VIP list that you should invite. And that falls under the joint venture idea that I shared here. And you want to think about joint venture. You use lists from your business partners, your vendors, maybe from your peers in other regions, et cetera, et cetera. Just think diversely here, and think what we used to call outside the box, broadly and uniquely, and think of different ways you can build a list of people who could be relevant to your event, could get value from it as you invite them to it. And another thing to work on as well, that when you're building your list, is as you start inviting people, which we'll talk about in a few more minutes, you want to start building an exclude list. An exclude list are all the people who you collect from your contact list, customer list, prospect list, joint venture list, et cetera, et cetera. You want to put them in an exclude list. If somebody sends you an email and say, please take me off your list, take them off your list. You do not want to run the chance of inviting someone over and over again and they call you out for spam. Furthermore, you don't want to jeopardize making the relationship any worse than it already is when they say they don't want to be a part of the event, because maybe later on they might want to be. So put people on your exclude list for future events until they say to you, oh, wow, man, I didn't understand. Take me off your exclude list. And that'll only happen during a conversation. So something else that I want to share with you as well is as you're building your event and picking your days and times, you want to pick the best day and time for your audience. So you really want to think through that, not just the best day and time for you, but for your audience. And so you want to think through what are other local events that are going on that might be a conflict. What are school activities or civic activities that are going on that might get in the way of people wanting to be able to or being able to attend your event? You need to think through, as I have a typo in there, consider your audience's personal needs. So they have children's, holidays, travel, weather, industry work requirements. Never invite a CPA to an event in January, February, March, or even April that can't attend. And so think about what else should you consider when you're working to build the day and time for your event, and think through how will this day and this time impact my audience. So as you're preparing to do your invites, you want to think about who's involved, who can help you, who are the resources that can help you make this happen. You're going to need help with graphics. You don't want to just, you want to add a little color, you want to add imagery, etc. Not a lot. You want to add some imagery to your invites. You want to think about, building an Eventbrite page, a landing page, maybe a social media, maybe a meetup page, maybe a Facebook event page, etc., etc. So you want to think through who are the people that can help me do this. You might want to have somebody who can help you wordsmith very compelling invites that are focused to your invitee to really encourage them to become an attendee. And you want to ask questions, look at new ideas while you're creating your messaging so you can get the greatest impact. There's lots of philosophies and lots of best practices to doing this. If you aren't an expert at this, then look for ideas that can help you become better, or look for resources who can help you do it. So when you're creating your invitations, again, I want to just give you high-level thoughts here. I want you to make the invitations personal and all about the invitee, not about you. Why should they attend? What's going to be their key takeaway? What's going to be the value? How's it going to help them personally and or professionally? Think through. Maybe your invitations start with a save the date message. It might be 2 or 3 months out, depending upon the size of your event, or how many invitees you're sending out to. How expensive is it? So you really want to get people to try to put it on their calendar. Again, you want to make it a compelling message about why they should save the date, not as, hey, I'm having my launch on this day. You need to put it on your calendar. No. Hey, I'm having a launch, and I'm going to show you how I can help you, how I'll be able to help you focus on your goals and solve your problems, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. See, I'm trying to wordsmith, but really compelling messages about why they should come. And your invite, again, must be all about your invitees, all about the benefit to them to attend, how this event will help them, again, personally and professionally, their business, their career, their community, et cetera, et cetera. And you want to, when you have special guests that you've already planned to show up, and you have special presenters, and you might want to showcase those and let them know, oh my golly, they are going to thoroughly enjoy meeting this special guest. They are thoroughly going to enjoy and benefit from what this presenter has to offer. And make the invitee feel special. Make it all about them coming to your event. And then you want to plan multiple invite messaging. You don't just want to send out one invite after you send out a save the date. But don't be pushy and don't become a burden. Send your messages out and make it all about them. How will they benefit? What will be their rewards? What will be the value to them? Maybe create some level of urgency by saying there's only so many seats available or only so much space available. Maybe it's a ticket price. Maybe the urgency is, oh my golly, the first 100 people get 10% off. And then the next 200 get a 5% off. And then the rest of the tickets are at gate prices. And pay attention to the invitations that you get, because often you'll discover some really cool, compelling invitations, and then you can use those or model or mimic those invitations in your own events. And again, I'm just going to harp on this. Keep your messaging about the event and the value to the invitee. So let's talk about the day of the event. This is the day of the great that you've been expecting. You've been anticipating this for weeks, if not months now. You've got all your plans in place. All your invites have gone out. You know what you're going to do. You know, the food is chosen. The venue is chosen. You're at the venue. The food's being delivered. The speakers are showing up. Everything's coming together, and you're really, really excited. But let's talk about the people for the day of the event. So first of all, what I really encourage you to do is keep a list of everyone who was invited, and keep that list on premise. And maybe you want to have a digital list on a computer or an Eventbrite or something like that, but maybe you also want a paper or maybe a couple copies of the paper that some of your key members of your team have with them. What you really also should do is highlight, somehow or another, put a star or sort them in order by, so you know that here are the VIPs, here are the top 10, 15, 20 people that we invited, and we want to know that they are past invitees and now are attendees. And so that you can engage with those VIPs and other key invites in a very deliberate way. You want to look for those individuals at your event and engage with them in very deliberate ways, relevant to the event, relevant to the content, and relevant to them and the personal and professional value they can get from this event. And you want to keep track and record who are all the invitees and who became an attendee. So somehow or other, keep track of everyone who showed up, everyone who is an attendee. And if you get new people who show up, new connections, and you want to get all of their contact information, so you know their company, their email address, their phone number, their address, the industry they're in, and you want to really connect with these folks in some deliberate way so you can determine, are they a VIP or not? And so that you know to what degree should you be engaging with these invitees who are now attendees. So the event went off it was smashing success. Everything worked well. Oh yeah, there were a few little hiccups, but nobody noticed. It was a great event. But let's talk about the day after. And I call it the day after. It might be the next couple days, but really I call it the day after because you want to do this fairly quickly. Everyone gets a gift. And here's what I mean by this. You want to break your list up so you know who attended and who didn't attend. So you're very clear about who was there and who wasn't there, regardless of the reason. Everybody who attended gets a gift. Now, the gift might be an ebook. It might be a discount for a future event or for products or services or whatever. It's going to be something of meaningful, something that has some value. Again, have focused on helping them in a very meaningful way, mutually beneficial way. But you also want to send those who didn't show up a gift as well. It might be a different ebook. It might be the PDF of the keynote speech or the presentation or a breakout sessions presentation. Could be a different type of discount. So what you want to send these, I would encourage you to send these quickly after the event. And make the messaging all about them. Make the messaging all about you're excited that they attend or you missed them. And you want to thank them for coming. And you want to let them know what they missed. Or let them know what they missed through the gift. And make it all about them and all about them attending. And nothing more. You're after nothing more other than to thank them or let them know that they were missed. Then another activity you want to do, again, I call it day after, but you want to do it pretty quickly, is you want to debrief the team. What worked, what didn't work? What was successful, what wasn't successful? And ask yourself pretty bluntly, what went fabulously? And ask yourself pretty bluntly, what did we not do well enough? And it's not about the little things. You don't care that we missed a chair or two. We don't care that there was a dirty fork on the table. We care, but that's not the really important stuff. The important stuff is, did we create value? Did we fulfill our purpose and achieve our goal? And was it mutually beneficial to our attendees? That's the most important questions that you can ask yourselves so that the next event you do, you'll do even better. And you'll repeat the stuff that was fabulous in a greater way. And you'll do the other things that you didn't do as fabulously. You'll do them differently and thus better. congratulate yourself. You pulled it off, and no one died. No one ran away shrieking in horror and pain. You also want to document everything. Document the process. Document the messaging you sent. Document the save the date messaging. Document the keynote speeches presentation. If you've recorded stuff, keep the recordings. If you have PowerPoints or Prezis, collect all that stuff in a documentation. And you want this not in a box that you put off to the side, but you want this in some manner so that you can get back to it and use it and engage on it and think about it and consider it the next event. So document everything as much as you can. And then, as well as go back to your attendees, you want to begin connecting with on social media with the new people and anybody else that you're not already connected with. So I would really encourage you to take your list and break it up into groups, and maybe give a group of them to this business developer, a group of them to this business developer, et cetera, et cetera. However you can distribute out and encourage your team to connect. And your team, by the way, might just be yourself, Teddy, but encourage your team to connect with everyone who attended on social media. Follow them on Twitter, connect with them on LinkedIn, follow their company pages on LinkedIn and Facebook. Look for them on Instagram and connect with them on Instagram. You want to use this opportunity to grow your social networks through the people that you met and engaged with and had good conversations with at the event. Then a follow-up for me is something you're going to do within a week or so. You don't want to wait too long, but you want to follow up with everybody in a meaningful way. First, you want to focus on following up with your VIPs, the people who were the most important to you, that you were hoping to get value out of while you gave them some value. You want to call them or go see them, and get engaged in a conversation with them. And if you have to email them, that's fine, but you really want to try to phone or meet with them. And thank them for attending and engaging to whatever degree they did. And then ask them, would they be willing to share what they took away? What's one nugget they took away from this conversation, from this event, that really gave them real value? You need to listen to that. You really need to listen to what's the one nugget they took away, because that's the thing you want to invite them into, what I refer to as an intimate conversation on that topic. You want to invite that individual or that group of people, that organization that came, to a conversation about them and that topic. If they got value from that topic, you want to nurture that and figure out how can you help them with that topic and or other relevant topics. This is called relationship building. So thank them for attending, and then find out what value they got from it, and then work with that. Now, the second follow-up, again, you're going to do that in fairly short order, within a month at the very latest, but you want to engage with everyone else. And when I say everyone else, you want to then survey everyone who's not a most important viewer or VIP and ask them, what did they learn? What did they take away from it? What did they hope to get, and did they get it or not? And if they didn't get it, what could you have done better? What conversation could have been better? What topic could have been more important or useful to them that's also relevant to you? And then invite them to participate in future events. You really want to ask the people who attended, what did they get from it? What could you have done better? And did it help them? And is there something that you could have brought to the event that could have helped them more? And then let them know that their insights, what they share with you, you will use to make future events better, and you hope that they'll attend future events as well. And then there's a third follow-up that's worthwhile doing, and you want to do this within the first quarter. Not as quickly, but you want to engage with everyone. And when you engage with everyone, now you want to ask them for ideas. You want to, let them know that these were what the goals were you had to help them with this this event, and then say to them from what they took away from this, from what they learned from us, from the people they had conversations with, what ideas do they have for future events? What primary topics, maybe what secondary topics do they have or ideas they have? And then ask them if they know any presenters that could be helpful in regards to the ideas they have. Are there any logistical ideas they have or recommendations that could be beneficial? Who else should we invite? When they came, or do they have peers or other people in the organization that we think should be a part of, who they think should be a part of that next event? And then ask them this, let them know that you're grateful for the ideas they share with you in this survey or this conversation. But then ask them, may I follow up with you directly to get a little bit more detail? This is all about relationship building as well. What did I do well? What could I have done better? What did you want to get? What are you hoping to get? And if we have another one, what can we do better for you? And then if you ask them for permission to talk with them in detail about it, often they'll say yes. And then you could follow up with, hey, you really appreciate your insights, and let them know because they shared these insights, you're going to give them a discount ticket or VIP access or some other gift to future events because they are willing to help you with ideas for those future events. So that's it. What I'm really trying to do is get you to think about this. What's your purpose and goal of doing this event? How's it going to help your invitees? How's it going to be mutually beneficial? How's it going to help you move your business forward while you're also helping others? And I also want you to think about, who are your invitees? Why are you inviting them? How are you inviting them? What's going to be the benefit to them? Because when you really think through your purpose, your goal, your invitees, who are your VIP invitees, and then think through these invitees. How are you engaging or messaging them before the event? How are you engaging with them during the event? And how do you message and engage with them after the event? Too often, we invite a bunch of people to an event and we don't follow through with the other activities. And it's that follow through with more engaging, more messaging, more conversations, and more offers to help them while you work on growing your business that makes your events far more successful and far more rewarding. I'll put in the show notes or in the YouTube text, summary text, these resources that can be useful from places like Constant Contact, Eventbrite, Meetup, Facebook events, Social Media Examiner for promoting events. These are just a few that I've used that were useful to me, and I referenced some of their ideas in this conversation. Again, I'm Teddy Burris. I'm a social media coach and trainer. My purpose is helping business professionals to use social media as a business tool. I hope this conversation was helpful to you and will help you to make your next event mutually beneficial to you and your invitees.